I say these statistical facts, and by the way, it's not the world I live in. This is peer-reviewed data from different universities in the subject of evolutionary psychology.
Like, send it to us so we can.
100%. Let's do. For instance, on dating apps, women find 80% of men to be below average attractiveness. How does that work mathematically? Do you not believe that that's a statistic? The common woman in this country is overweight, number one. And she thinks that she's about 3 points higher than she is as far as her physical attractiveness. That's the common woman.
That's your like perspective. That's not like.
No, that's statistically.
Where are these statistics
similar?
from?
It's a great question. They're from evolutionary psychology studies from the University of Oxford, Harvard. They're also from the University of Texas at Austin, University of New Mexico, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech. That's where this stuff is coming from. This is the part that really offends a lot of people, is when I back up everything I'm saying with data, because again, you guys are married. No offense, but you don't know what it's like on the fucking streets right now. It is hard as shit when you have women who are addicted to their phone, and you have right now, if you count all the sex workers in this country and all the women who are on OnlyFans, that is 2.1 million women between the ages of 20 and 40. That is something like 4 or 5% of every woman that is out there. If we're talking about women who are attractive, that number goes up to 8 or 9%. You think 9% of women who are doing OF or sex work is not going to have downstream ramifications on the entire country?
Yeah, but my point is, like, there's still 90% that are.
Yeah.
No. The 90% that you're talking to are still seeing that 8 or 9% going to Dubai or going to Ibiza. They're going to these different places, and it has downstream ramifications. Just like if you live
I get that. They set the culture.
Correct.
Tone. Like, I understand that.
And I think that's a subculture. How many women do you know went to Dubai?
Not many.
You guys are married.
Just because even when I wasn't married, I didn't know all.
No. Again, but this changed. There wasn't OnlyFans more than 6 years ago. Have you guys been married more than 6 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So OnlyFans has changed significantly.
I think that's the world these guys live in. No offense to you, but like him, Andrew Tate, all these guys are like, all these OF models, they're this and that. And in the regular world, like at the Christian church, there's good Christian women that are not only.
Of course, they're not all like that.
The reality that I see, that he sees, that most Christian normal Americans see, is not this OnlyFans Dubai epidemic.
But I would argue we also live in a bubble. So if we're saying that he lives in a bubble and he sees that, and then we live in this Christian bubble where we're not in the clubs and in, whatever, interviewing 10 girls who've got these perspectives, like, sure, like I see a different world, but like I just want the objective data of what the world.
Beautiful.
The objective data is 92% or not.
The objective data is also the age of first marriage keeps getting pushed back and back every year. The objective data is the birth rate is declining. The objective data is first marriage is like 48% divorce. Second marriage, the divorce rate is in the 62%. Third marriage, it's 73%. Right. The objective data is 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. That's the point I'm trying to make.
The real thing we're trying to figure out is the cause, right?
Yeah. Well, so the problem is when I say these statistical facts, and by the way, it's not the world I live in. This is peer-reviewed data from different universities in the subject of evolutionary psychology.
Like, send it to us so we can.
100%. Let's do. Why don't we pull it up right now? We can pull up all the different effects that happen where women tend to, like, for instance, on dating apps, women find 80% of men to be below average attractiveness. How does that work mathematically? Do you not believe that that's a statistic?
I don't see how that statistic has to do with like these OnlyFans girls and all this, like.
No, but I'm talking about men at the bottom who are ignored.
His question is, do you think that it's true that 80% of men that women look at, they find unattractive?
Yes. I think most.
So we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah. I think it works the other way too.
No.
Like most women that, I guess men have lower standards. Okay.
Yeah. We're all in agreement.
You're slowly getting there.
Point for you.
You're slowly getting there. Yeah.
But that's just common sense. Like men are just more open to whatever.
No, it's
men will settle.
Men will settle.
The concept of size. But women claim that they settle more than men.
They don't.
But correct.
We can objectively say that.
But why do they say that? Because they think they're 3 points higher than they are. The average
man. So they think they're settling.
Correct.
Reality.
The average, correct. Yeah. So assortative mating works where a woman who is a 5, and by the way, when I say these numbers, I don't mean physical attractiveness. I mean that if we took like their dating profile and stratified 10 million men and women, whatever the median one, we'll call them a 5.
Are you talking though, even with their points, that includes looks, personality, career? What are we talking about here?
All of the things that would make them desirable to the opposite sex in a sexual marketplace, those are all the things.
Looks and personality. personality.
Looks and personality could be the thing. However, you will say that like it's a little bit weighted more towards looks when it comes to women and a little bit weighted more towards status when it comes to men, right? And those things in the sexual market value, the things that make a man who would be a median man in the sexual market value and a median woman in the sexual market value, she has no interest in him. And that's the issue. She's interested in someone who's 2 or 3, 4 points higher than there. And the term for this is hypergamy. Originally, the term comes from India, where they have a caste system, and women who are really attractive can marry out of their caste into a higher caste. But the word has been colloquialized to mean whenever women want to marry someone who's bigger, stronger, faster, taller, makes more money than them, etc., is a higher sexual market value, then that's when we talk about the concept of hypergamy. If hypergamy exists, then there must be a group of men at the bottom who are superfluous.
Yeah, we all agree on that.
And the country is becoming more secular and more atheist.
So let's circle all the way back around to the only description. Again, you go to the gym. You're an average, let's say, replacement level woman. You're an average woman in every single way. You go to the gym and some girl comes up to the gym and she is driving a Maybach. She gets out, she goes into the gym. You start talking to her like, hey, how'd you get that Maybach? She's like, I have an OnlyFans. And then I got all this surgery done and all this kind of stuff. The idea that this doesn't have downstream ramifications for the country, I don't understand how you can't see that. You think that it's a bubble. It's not a bubble. Everyone sees this.
I think it's a bubble still.
I mean, just look at the people.
They did $7 billion in revenue last year.